Oh, there we go. I did not realize it. Wait, does that mean that you guys didn't catch the music at all that I was playing? Gosh, that would suck. I actually picked a really neat song too. Oh well. Well, it looks like that you guys can hear me now. Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, D-Man, Riggs, you guys can hear me all right? Woo! I'm being heard. Okay. So, yeah, I guess there was something I still needed to click on my end here in StreamYard. Still trying to figure this shit out, obviously. So basically, I started off talking about how the Super Bowl is coming up, and I don't know if you guys necessarily give a crap about that. I, for one, kind of do, simply because I do enjoy watching football, and usually it's an indication. Sorry, I just saw the word indication. It's usually a tradition for my family to get together and watch it, as it is the case with millions of Americans. It's probably not going to happen this year. It's probably just going to be me and my son watching. I don't necessarily give a crap who's going to win. I kind of feel meh about both teams, so like the fandom goes. I'm expecting it to be a good game. Both teams played fucking amazing this year. If I had to put money on it, I would say the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win it. Part of me kind of hopes the Eagles are going to win it just because fuck Patrick Mahomes. He gets so much publicity for whatever reason. Oh, look at this. Whoop-de-doo, he won one Super Bowl so far. But, yeah, whatever. He's the new Tom Brady, I guess. Maybe. He still has more to prove. So as far as the title of the stream, I don't even know who is in it. I quit watching when they started kneeling. That's a fair point. So just to catch you up, it's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, really? Hammer's sermon is being done on Monday. Is it because of the Super Bowl? I honestly haven't heard much about that, but then again, this has been a really busy week for me personally. Um, I'm actually at work right now, and I'm using the Wi-Fi here. I'm not on the clock. I did some overtime. My task is done, and since I still ride the buses, I figured, well, why not? I've got time to kill. um, I'm also having to use one of my workplace's laptops because mine decided to commit seppuku, which I mentioned in the description down below. I had somebody look at it saying that it was probably the battery that died. Let's see here. He knows some people want to watch the game. Yeah, well, it's probably going to be a pretty good game. Both teams played phenomenal this year, so. And I'm a motorcycle owner and hot rider. I'm ready for spring. You know what? I usually enjoy the winter, but I think I'm going to agree with you on that one, Riggs. This winter sucks. Bring on the spring. Where was I going to go with this? Fuck it. I'll just go ahead and talk about the actual story that I was going to be covering. So, there's a member of the Philadelphia Eagles named Josh Sills. He is a guard. And apparently, this is his rookie year. Last year, he played for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, which I did a little research on this. Apparently, last year, they made it to the Fiesta Bowl where they took on Notre Dame, and they won 37-35. This year, the same player, Josh Sills, his team is going to the Super Bowl, which is being hosted by Arizona. In fact, it's in the exact same city, the exact same stadium. So this guy is going to be going through a trip down memory lane. Oh, wait. No, he's not, because this is a Me Too story that we're talking about. See, it turns out that a little over 3 years ago, he allegedly did a certain thing, which is actually being labeled as two. He's being charged with one count of graping and one count of kidnapping. And again, this was over 3 years ago. I got the date written down here, which is easy for me to remember. December 5th, 2019. It's easy for me to remember because December 5th is my birthday, to be honest. It took place in, I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's some county in Ohio. Apparently, he's an Ohio boy, and a police report was filed a little over a week ago where they contacted the medical center where the alleged victim went to go and get herself looked at. Because I guess apparently during the incident, he left bruises on her in multiple locations, including the back of the throat. Didn't even know that was possible, to be honest. But yeah, so they treated her, and it took 3 years for anybody to be like, you know what? Maybe we should actually have this bastard be investigated instead of waiting for him to become a professional football player. Let's see here. The victim at the time was 21, whatever. So the NFL announced on the same day that the police report came out, which was the first or the second, I don't remember which one. He was put on their, what do they call it? The commissioner's exempt list, I think is what it's called, which is basically if someone commits a heinous crime and is being looked at or whatnot, the NFL will take a proactive approach and say this individual is not allowed to practice. This individual is not allowed to play on the team. This individual is not allowed to do anything football related with the NFL. Which in a way I think does make sense. I mean, if you're being investigated for something like this and there's serious reason to suspect, but the fact that this is over 3 years later kind of makes me wonder. Makes me wonder if she's doing it because maybe she's a Chiefs fan, or maybe the cops are doing it because one of them is a Chiefs fan. I don't know. Which is kind of weird because in Ohio they have two AFC teams. And in fact, in order for Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl, they had to beat Cincinnati to do it. So I don't know. It could just be a case that they're just stupid. I don't know. It would make sense to me. But I think that if anybody is somewhat aware of this story or is just now finding out about it, maybe you're wondering, oh, how the fuck is this going to affect the Eagles? Is it going to hurt their chances to win? Probably not. And, Riggs, you've actually said something that may be very, very true. I think her pockets are empty, and she's after a payday. You know what? That could very well be the case. He is getting paid quite a bit of money to basically sit on his ass. In fact, according to every article that I have found talking about this incident, which has only been like 3 or 4, and the most up-to-date one was posted on what was it, the 3rd, I think. He only played 1 game, which was in October. Ironically enough, it was also in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium. And he only played 4 snaps. That's it. And all 4 of them were special teams. Now, if anybody gives a crap, Philadelphia did win that game 20-17. But he had very minimal impact on that 1 game that he played in. So unless Philadelphia's offensive line is going to be injury plagued tonight, they're probably not going to miss him. So as far as the team's ability to win the Lombardi again this year, I really don't think this is going to hinder them. I guess that's actually all the information about this that I have, because there's not really a whole lot that's available. Um, yeah, it is kind of funny to me. His last college game, his only professional game, and the Super Bowl that he would have been a part of had he not been accused of this, exact same building. I think that's kind of funny. Um, so yeah, I can clearly see what Riggs thinks of this. She could very well be trying to get some of that moolah, which I think is very, very possible. Absolutely. I have no idea how much he's making, though. I really don't. I highly doubt it's that much compared to other NFL positions and players. Um, but it's more than $20. So who knows? That could be good enough for her. Speaking of bucks, I've about a month ago I set up one of those cash apps. You know, like what you'll hear from Hammerhand and Undead Chronic. Um, I've originally set it up so that way I can make my donations too. You know, because it's just a hell of a lot easier. Would you guys consider it to be in good taste for me to share that with people in my own videos? Yep, D-Man sharing his opinion. Whoops. The timing is a little suspicious. Yeah, it is. It's very suspicious, I think. Oh, hey, look at that. His team made the Super Bowl. Let's fuck his life over. So, I mean, my Cash App is, it's my name. Cash App whatever the hell it is. I think it's .com. I don't know. I honestly haven't really gone onto the actual website itself. I have the app on my phone, but I think it's cashapp.com/$ a shot of whiskey, quite literally what my name is, but without the spaces. I don't know if capitalization really matters that much, but it's the same 3 capital letters, A, S, and W. So yes, they always come sniffing when the attention dries up. And so does the money. Boy, ain't that true. You know, I actually heard not too long ago, like literally a few hours ago while I was working tonight, that a legend, an NFL legend, Michael Irvin, is being accused of something similar, only a much, much less severe accusation. Apparently, he quote unquote said something to a hotel worker not too long ago. I think it was a Marriott hotel, I believe is where it was at. But yeah, there's been a whole shit ton of people coming out saying nothing happened. There's video footage showing that they just talked for like a few seconds and he shook her hand and she was all giddied and happy to have met a former cowboy. You know, so whoever the hell is accusing him of this stuff, apparently he's retaliating already and is planning on suing either her or the hotel or both. I don't remember, for $100 million. And part of the reason why he's saying that this is logical is apparently he's supposed to be part of the broadcasting team for the Super Bowl later today and is not being allowed to because of this accusation. So another man's life is being ruined, is being attacked because of a lying woman. And it's a shame. It's a shame that this crap happens because we all know this stuff really does happen. There's God knows how many women who actually become victimized of this kind of crap. But when you got liars, it kind of makes it hard to believe even the serious cases, you know? And I kind of hate saying that because, you know, I have family who are, well, women, obviously. My mom has told me a story that happened back in the 70s where she believes that she went through something like that. My older sister has told me stories that happened a little over 20 years ago that supposedly happened. But it's like, okay, why did neither of you do anything about that? And my mom's excuse was, oh, well, Nobody would have believed me. This was back in the 70s. Women weren't believed then, just like they're not believed now. I'm like, oh, bullshit. Bullshit. My older sister, she said probably the dumbest thing that I think I could have heard a woman say. Although, then again, here in this modern Me Too era, you're going to be hearing it more and more, I think, um, which is, oh, I didn't report anybody about it because I actually quite enjoyed it. I may have been drunk out of my mind and I don't remember who all put their wieners inside of my holes, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. I had a blast in high school. Then don't call it the R word. If you liked it, if you're cool with it, it's clearly not the R word. Thankfully, to my knowledge, my two younger sisters have not gone through anything like that. Hopefully, they learned from the women before them. Yeah, I totally just went off on this tangent here, and I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah. Oh, fuck. It's been over 20 minutes only. Jeez. Now let's go on like this one. In today's world, being famous is a massive negative. Riggs, you are not wrong on that. I mean, these ladies are very, very unlikely to be going after someone like me, someone who makes 45K a year scrubbing toilets and shower rooms and picking up trash in offices of people who make twice of what I do and they spend half of their time at home. I fucking hate this job. But yeah. I need to go to bed. I seriously doubt there's going to be too many women who are going to be coming after me. And if they do, it's probably not going to be for money. But these guys who are a lot more famous, yeah, they've got much bigger targets on their back. I'm surprised that Leonardo DiCaprio has not had people come after him yet. With how many women, especially the feminists out there who are old and bitter and probably look like a dude, who are all pissed off that he's going after women who are still young and fertile and pretty, depending on your taste. I'm surprised that no one is coming out saying, he touched me or something like that. Especially one of his exes. I mean, some of them look like they've been run through, which, from what I understand, some of the gals he has been with, were models and they partied a lot. So it would make sense that, the booger sugar stuff would mess with their looks and their figure. I enjoy being a ghost. I can go to parties. I'm invited to have a shot. Yay! Beer and leave without being noticed. Lol. That is very true. Honestly, it's one of the reasons why I personally never really went to parties that much in my high school or college years. I didn't want to risk it. I really did. What the fuck do you want, phone? Oh, never mind. Nothing important. I should probably turn this thing down. Because what if I get like a phone call or something? That's something that I've been noticing lately. I've been getting phone calls at the weirdest of times from businesses. It's like, dude, it's 6 a.m. Let people sleep. Oh, you're based out of New York. No wonder. But yeah, there have been some that that I could see going after Leo out of vengeance or money or something like that. You guys know Gone with John, right? In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen you, D-Man, in some of his streams. Maybe Riggs as well. I think I've seen you both there before. But Gone with John did a video, 3 days ago, where he went, where he read this article that had a list of every single one of these Leonardo DiCaprio girlfriends who've been either dumped or dumped him by the age of 25 or younger. And honestly, some of those ladies, well, some of them still look kind of nice, give or take. Like Rihanna, she looks okay for her age. And some of those women look like they're dead, which is kind of a sad thing to say because there's at least one of them who is. I don't remember. A little bit of an update. I was working night shift in high school full time. Single mom was horrible with money, so if I didn't pay for the car and insurance, I didn't drive. That's an unfortunate thing, but at the same time, hey, it helps teach you responsibility at a young age. Something that apparently your mom didn't understand. Yeah, it's kind of horrible, some of the things that single mothers will do to you. In fact, I'm gonna play a little spoiler, and I really doubt that either of you two give a crap about this. The Velma series, that god awful abomination. Okay, so I haven't watched a single episode. What I have done is I've either watched streamers review it as they watch it, or do a like a summary of it or whatnot. It just kind of depends on which episode. And I will admit I was wrong about who the killer was, but I was close. It was Fred's mother. Fred's mother was doing all of these killings, and her sole motivation was because she did such a shitty job at raising Fred that she was like, you know what? He's too incompetent to run a business, worse than his father. So I'm going to restart the military program that my daddy abandoned, which was to do brain swapping for whatever weird reason. And I'm going to swap his brain with the brain of a smart, motivated woman. And she was going to have it be Daphne at first. And then she was like, you know what? Velma's actually the smart one, even though she hasn't demonstrated anything that resembles intelligence. So let's go for Velma. I'm sorry. It's just the whole thing was fucking stupid. But yeah, it's like there's so much in that show. In that show, for as shitty as the writing was in that show, there's one thing that it demonstrates, which is that shitty mothers do a shitty job at raising their kids, and those kids get fucked up. Velma could have been a much better individual if her mother wasn't a drunk. Fred could have hit puberty. If you guys hadn't seen it, one of the aspects of the show is that Fred was so pampered and spoiled as, the rich white kid, that his body didn't see a need for him to grow up. He's still technically a prepubescent boy, even though he's like 16 years old in the show. 15, 16, something like that. And it's because of his mother. His mother is that bad of a parent. And okay, let's play a little catch up. Riggs, I think he got that policy from Trump. He's also been one to cycle out his ladies. Oh, in reference to maybe. She's filed bankruptcy twice and lives in squalor still. I'm assuming that's in reference to your mom. And D-Man, the bitter, jealous feminists were reading that Leo is almost 50 and his newest girlfriend is 19. Yeah, he's like 48, I think. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. What's kind of funny about Leo is the very first movie that I saw him in was What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Which, if you guys remember that movie, he was the one who played the younger brother who was special. I'll just put it that way. And he did a pretty good job of it. I mean, especially knowing what he's like in real life, he did a pretty damn good job of it. I, of course, saw that Romeo and Juliet movie that he was in where they kind of, in a way, modernized it. it was just so. Well, I remember when I first watched it, it confused the fuck out of me because a lot of it had nothing to do with stuff that I was really into. Like, there's a scene where he's hanging out with Mercutio, who in that movie they have portrayed as like a majorly flamboyant gay black dude, and he gives him an ecstasy pill. I had no idea what ecstasy was, so I thought he gave him a breath mint. I watched the movie again like almost a decade ago because I was taking a Shakespeare class at a university, and we were talking about that movie, and I'm like, is it really as bad as I remember? Oh God, it's even worse. Like in just the opening scene, I'm like, it almost seemed like a comedy. I mean, like what do they call those? A spaghetti western. Oh, maybe that's not the thing I'm thinking of. Did you ever watch The Island? No, I have not seen The Island. I'm assuming that's a movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was in. Um, yeah, maybe. I'm sure D-Man, you're going to say something about it. But yeah, I remember in that movie, the Romeo and Juliet one, the wait, hold on, we had we had to watch that Shakespeare version. Really? You had to watch the shitty Leonardo DiCaprio one in the eighth grade? Wow, I got to watch the one that was made in the 70s that was filmed in Italy where you actually got to see Juliet's boobs. I mean, it was not like she was like standing there so you can get like a good look. It's like she and the Romeo were kind of like trying to hurry up and cover up or whatnot. So it's like maybe like a tenth of a second you see something. But that version was actually really good, and not because of Juliet's boob. Um, but it seems like they actually tried to make it look like what Verona probably would have looked like during this time period. Um, the Island was one of his early movies. Um, okay, let me ask you this, D-Man. Would you actually recommend that movie? Because I'm sure that I could probably find it somewhere online. In fact, I can even make a note of it. Just give me the word D. No, but it just seems really weird that that would be the version that you would have seen in middle school. But then again, it's better than some other versions, like Nomeo and Juliet. Did you guys ever see that one? I mean, it was cute in terms of it trying to be like a kids movie, and I probably would have liked it more had I never read or seen Romeo and Juliet, which is kind of weird because that's the one that everyone's all like, oh, this is like the magnum opus of Shakespeare stuff, and I'm like, it sucks. It's a terrible story. It's hands down one of the worst tragedies that Shakespeare did, and I prefer his tragedies over his comedies. Although his comedies, depending on which one it is, were pretty good too, but I preferred the tragedies. It was good when I was younger, strange but good. Ooh, strange. Okay, you know what? That actually has sold me. So I'm going to write this down. Why am I writing a W? The Island that's probably why I was writing the W. With Leo DeC. All right, cool. Note made. I'm going to try and find it. Thank you. But yeah, Romeo and Juliet was not a version of Romeo and Juliet that I would see being shown in a middle school or a high school class. Although it probably stands a better chance than the anime series Romeo X Juliet, which, oh my God, was so fucking terrible. I couldn't even finish it. It was so bad. So it's in a fantasy world where basically the Montagues killed off all of the Capulets, and the only one that survives is Juliet. She was like a child at the time, and she's basically raised by William, Well, I don't remember if she was actually raised by this guy, but it was quite literally William Shakespeare. His name was William. He looked like William Shakespeare. He was kind of questionably maybe gay, which, of course, a lot of people on the left think that he probably was, or at least bi. Let's see here. Right, time for the morning deuce. We'll crank volume so I can still listen. Yeah, drop that poop. Sorry, Rex. um, but yeah, so one of the neat things about Romeo X Juliet, the anime, is their horses are actually Pegasi. Pegasuses. I think it's Pegasi. Is that the plural for a Pegasus? Pegasi? Yeah, fucking who cares? They're not even real. But yeah, so of course the Montagues being the successful power family, that's what they're flying on. And Romeo, of course, meets Juliet. They fall in love. And honestly, it was so long ago that I watched this. I'm surprised I remember as much as I do. And I hated it. It was so terrible. I mean, I suppose it would technically classify as a rom-com anime, but there's a lot of good rom-com anime. This was not one of them. It was just absolutely terrible. And double flush at home, no flush at mom's house. Oh, that's funny. I can't do that though, because for me, that's the same place. Which what sucks is our toilet's pressure water has been kind of weird lately. So you kind of have to double flush it. It's kind of annoying. I mean, unless all you do is pee, you can just one flush that. But if you drop some logs, you got to do it at least twice. It's kind of annoying. So, how the fuck did we get into Romeo and Juliet? Oh, that's right. We were talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. What do you guys think was actually his best movie role that he did? I'm drawing a blank on it. What was that one? There was one movie that he did that was just fucking amazing. And what was that? It was not Romeo and Juliet, I can tell you that much. I think it was on Wall Street. No. You know what? I need to stop doing these streams when I'm tired and need to go to bed. But yeah, I have been up for doing the math about 20 hours. I've been awake for about 20 hours. Oh, there we go. D-Man got it. Catch Me If You Can. That was a fucking awesome movie with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Well, Wolf at Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street. Are you sure it wasn't Catch Me If You Can? Oh, jeez, now I'm questioning my own sanity. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Catch Me If You Can. I'll have to look that up too, just so I can get it sorted out. Wait, they were both good whiskey. Yeah, they probably were. Most of Leo's movies were pretty good. I will definitely agree with Bill Burr. The Titanic was shit. Well, I mean, it had its moments. I will say that. I did enjoy the movie at certain points. Like the scene where, they're kind of in one of the lower decks and they're actually like partying, have a good time, drinking. Kate Winslet does that thing where she's like balancing on the tip of her toes, which in a way is kind of impressive in and of itself. But doing that while you're drinking on a fucking ship, that is kind of cool. It was kind of funny watching her flipping off that butler guy. That was funny. Did it have this? Does the middle finger even have the same context back then? I don't know. I don't even know how old the middle finger is, to be honest. Of course, I liked seeing Kate in her birthday suit. especially at the time that the movie came out. I was like 14, 15, some shit like that. So of course I liked seeing that. Why the hell wouldn't I have liked that? And as far as like the whole, ship sinking scene, the only thing about it that was actually really enjoyable to watch, and it's kind of sick using the term enjoyable for this, was the old couple that just kind of accepted fate. They laid there in the bed together. That was, you know, that meme about, I can't believe he didn't cry in Titanic. Do men even have feelings at all? That scene is probably the only part of the movie that might have drawn a tear from me. Because it was just that sweet. But the rest of it, nah, the horror flick. Fuck that. It's not sad. It sure as fuck not romantic. But, a little wish for two. Hopefully, Whiskey gets a nap before game time and have a good Sunday with your son. Well, thank you, D-Man. I actually will be having at least a little bit of sleep. The game isn't supposed to start until 3:30 my time, which right now it's 6 o'clock my time. Which actually means I could probably pack up here and start making my way out of here. So, yeah, actually, I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and end this broadcast, end the stream. Thank you guys for coming out. I saw at one point the eyeball went up to 3. Maybe somebody poked in and was like, yeah, this is boring shit. So, yeah, a lot of false allegations going on lately, especially directed towards NFL players, both legends and rookies that nobody gives a fuck about. So, hey, take care, you guys, and never forget that if you abuse alcohol, it will abuse you back. Peace out.